A wide receiver, also referred to as a wideout, formerly a split end, is an eligible receiver in gridiron football, a key skill position of the offense. It gets its name from the player being split out, wide, farthest away from the rest of the offensive formation. A forward pass-catching specialist, the wide receiver is one of the fastest players on the field alongside cornerbacks and running backs. One on either extreme of the line is typical, but several may be employed on the same play. Through 2019, only two wide receivers, Jerry Rice and Michael Thomas, have won Offensive Player of the Year. In every other year it was awarded to either a quarterback or running back. No wide receiver has ever won MVP. Jerry Rice is the leader in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns in the all-time list for receivers, along with being a 3-time SB champion and 10-time All-Pro selections. The wide receiver's principal role is to catch forward passes from the quarterback. On passing plays, the receiver attempts to avoid, outmaneuver, or simply outrun the cornerbacks or safeties typically defending him. If the receiver becomes open on his pass route, the quarterback may throw a pass to him. The receiver needs to successfully catch the ball without it touching the ground and then run with the ball as far downfield as possible, hopefully reaching the end zone to score a touchdown. Especially fast receivers are typically perceived as deep threats, while those with good hands and perhaps shifty moves may be regarded as possession receivers, prized for running crossing routes across the middle of the field, and, ideally, converting third down situations. Taller receivers with a height advantage over typically shorter defenders tend to play further to the outside and run deep more often, while shorter ones tend to play inside and run more routes underneath the top of the defense. A wide receiver may block his or another defender, depending on the type of play being run. On standard running plays, they will block their assigned defender for the running back. Particularly in the case of draws and other trick plays, he may run a pass route with the intent of drawing defenders away from the intended action. Well-rounded receivers are noted for skill in both roles. Hines Ward in particular received praise for his blocking abilities while also becoming the Pittsburgh Steelers' all-time leading receiver and one of 13 in NFL history through 2009 with at least 1,000 receptions. Occasionally wide receivers are used to run the ball, usually in plays seeking to surprise the defense, as in an end around or reverse. All-time NFL receiving yardage leader Jerry Rice also rushed the ball 87 times for 645 yards and 10 touchdowns in his 20 NFL seasons. In even rarer cases, receivers may pass the ball as part of an outright trick play. Like a running back, a receiver may legally pass the ball so long as they receive it behind the line of scrimmage, in the form of a handoff or backwards lateral. This sort of trick play is often employed with a receiver who has past experience playing quarterback at a lower level, such as high school, or sometimes college. Antoine Randall L., a 4-year quarterback at Indiana University, threw a touchdown pass at the wide receiver position in Super Bowl 40 playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Seattle Seahawks. Wide receivers often also serve on special teams as kick or punt returners, as gunners on coverage teams, or as part of the hands team during onside kicks. Devon Hester from the Chicago Bears, touted one of the greatest kick and punt returners of all time, was listed as a wide receiver. 5-time All-Pro and 8-time Pro Bowler Matthew Slater is a gunner for the New England Patriots, also listed as a wide receiver. In the NFL, wide receivers can use the numbers 10 to 19 and 80 to 89. A route tree system typically used in high school and college employs numbers 0 through 9, with 0 being a go route, and a 9 being a hitch route, or vice versa. In high school they are normally a part of the play call, but are usually disguised in higher levels of plays. The wide receiver grew out of a position known as the end. Originally, the ends played on the offensive line, immediately next to the tackles, in a position now referred to as the tight end. By the rules governing the forward pass, ends and backs are eligible receivers. Most early football teams used the ends sparingly as receivers, as their starting position next to the offensive tackles at the end of the offensive formation often left them in heavy traffic with many defenders around. By the 1930s, some teams were experimenting with spreading the field by moving one end far out near the sideline, drawing the defense away from running plays and leaving them more open on passing ones. These split ends became the prototype for what has evolved into being called today the wide receiver. Don Hudson, who played college football at Alabama,